People First podcast is a show presented by people with learning disabilities for our friends and the community. We talk about the issues that are important to us and interview interesting guests to find out new information. This is our way to make a difference.
Hello and welcome to the People First podcast. I'd like to introduce myself. My name's Adam and I'm the staff lead who supports the podcast team here at People First Keighley and Craven. And we've got a little bit of a different episode, a special episode for you this week. We had the opportunity to go to Birmingham to attend Naidex, which is the National Accessibility Inclusion Disability Expo, and talk to a lot of the different organisations, companies and people there to find out more about what was going on and what was available for people with physical disabilities and learning disabilities. Most of the interviewing is going to be done by me. We had one of our podcast team members, Luke, with us who did an interview, but a lot of it's done by me, which is a departure from what we usually would be doing on the People First podcast. So I hope you'll forgive us for having this special kind of episode for this big event, which will be split over two parts because we got so much good content with so many fantastic people that we talked to. And then our next episode will be returning back to our usual format, which is going to be an interview that the team did with a couple of guys from the Gig Buddies scheme, which is a fantastic scheme, Bradford Buddies as it's called now, and that's going to be a really interesting episode. I really wish that we could have brought our podcast team with us. Maybe next year we'll have the opportunity to bring a few more guys down and they can lead the show. But for now, please enjoy the show. Thank you for listening. Could you introduce yourself, please?
Sure. My name's Vivian Meggers. I'm from a company called Smart Technology, and we help disabled people and visually impaired people's journeys much more inclusive on an everyday basis.
And what have you been doing at Naidex today?
So principally we're just raising awareness with other disability organisations about some of the services and products that we offer, both to local government organisations and public transport organisations, as well as to disabled people, visually impaired people, people with learning difficulties, even mums and cyclists and people who find it difficult, for example, to reach out and touch the button at a pedestrian crossing because of their own mobility situation.
Could you maybe give us a little bit more detail about some of the services and products that you have?
Sure. So around about 3 years ago when COVID hit, we had all of these brilliant ideas about disability and our products, but we weren't really into many councils at all, if any. And at the time, the general public didn't want to reach out and touch things either. So I spoke with my boss and said, would it be a good idea if we combined a touch-free for the general public who don't want to touch anything at the moment because of COVID, along with our Bluetooth product, which is enabled by a smart button or a free app or a smart tube for Parkinson's people. There's a double-ended button on each end, which when they're having tremors, they find it very difficult to reach out and touch the button. And we've heard stories where disabled people have had to wait 20 minutes for somebody to say, can you press the button for me to allow me to cross the road, in a wheelchair, in the rain. Not a nice situation for anybody to be in at all, and completely wrong in today's day and age where we're supposed to have inclusive journeys for people. So we did that, and we're now into around about 70 UK councils since November 2020. So we have them in places like Brighton, lots and lots of them up in Glasgow, some here in the West Midlands, around Solihull, Dudley, Wolverhampton, etc. So they're touch-free pedestrian crossings called Smart Cross Plus. They can be available all over the country. It's just a matter of getting into these councils.
Yeah, we'll have to maybe look into Bradford Council, maybe looking at some of those.
Well, funnily enough, Bradford were one of the first councils to be interested in it. they have a trial, or it should still be in place, and it's just behind the Alhambra going across to the Mirror Pool, the Mirror Pool area. So they put a touch-free crossing in there, and it's a really busy road, a ring road, where there's about probably 5 lanes of traffic, and the students just they've always got their earpods in and they step out into the traffic. So yeah, there's a touch-free crossing actually there in Bradford, but that's the only one they've got currently. So interestingly, what Bradford said to me was that they don't get a lot of disabled people contacting them saying we have difficulties at crossings. And yet when we were in Bradford that day, a gentleman in a wheelchair happened to come across us and say, oh, is this a touch-free crossing? How does it work? How do I get one of these smart buttons? So there's definitely demand for it, but it's the communication between disabled people and the councils to say we need this. And it's, everything we do is kind of very, very reasonably priced and affordable for councils to make it mass market.
Maybe something we could look into, because obviously we're based in Keighley, which is just a little bit outside Bradford, and there's a lot of disability organisations in and around Keighley, which I think we could probably pull together some joint movement to maybe put some pressure on local government to make that a point of discussion.
Well, that would be amazing, because another product we have, and you're quite a rural area there, aren't you? It's a beautiful part of the world, just on the border of Lancashire. So, and it's lovely. But I mean, how often do you get to a bus stop, right? And there's just a mouldy, steamed up bus timetable. What do you do? Sometimes there's no bus timetable at all. As a sighted person, that's very difficult. But as a visually impaired person, it's doubly difficult, because how do you know you're at the bus stop in the first place? Is there anybody around to ask? Maybe not in a rural area. But with Smart Bus, again, it works with a free app, as the crossings do, as well as the Smart Button, the Smart Tube, etc. Works with a free app. You'd be walking along, you'd have your Smart App VI on, which is an app for blind people. It's free of charge, and it has 35 different functions, from time to mobility to navigation to 10 key routes, phone numbers, all sorts of different things that you would need on a day-to-day basis. And it links into Smart Bus. So as you approach the bus stop, it would say, you're at the bus stop on Sheep Street in Keighley. The next bus coming is the 1232. I'm trying to think of blubber houses at, it's an Arriva bus, and it's coming in 3 minutes. But then it also counts them down, so 2 minutes, 1 minute, 30 seconds, so they can move out towards the bus stop, which is fantastic. So, but for you or I, it would simply flash up on our phone, and you could see it in front of you. And as well as that, the local area could add things like active travel messages, or snow messages, or adverse weather conditions. They could even monetize it by adding an advertising module into that if they wanted to, both audio and visual, so that all members of the community can see and hear what's going on. So that's another one of our innovations that we have. We'd love to show you all of our innovations, so you'd be very welcome to come on a video call and we can show you everything that we do, because I know time's going to be limited today.
No, that sounds really interesting. We'll have to take a business card. You'll have to take a card of ours. We'll round it up by saying, what's been your favourite part about being at Naidex this year?
I think it's just seeing. My dad has motor neurone disease. He's had it since he was 42. He's 81 now. And it's just seeing so many disabled people getting out there, happy, looking at things, discovering things, and actually seeing that there's so many different things here that can help so many different people in different situations, because every disability has its own set of circumstances and its own set of difficulties or problems which can be overcome, really. And it's only through design and awareness and the government last week were saying, let's get as many disabled people as we can back to work. Well, the places need to be fully equipped to do that, don't they, really, in all honesty. So yeah, I think it's just lovely to see so many disabled people out there enjoying inclusively. The ramps on the buses, for example, this morning, just coming down automatically, people going on board very easily and very quickly. No hassle, no embarrassment, and having a disabled parent for so many years, we've been in situations time and time again where Dad can't be included, like going to the beach because there's no wooden, slat ramping and things, and all sorts of things like that over the years. So it's just great to see that times are changing and moving on and are more inclusive for disabled people.
Well, thank you very much for speaking to us today. I'm sure we'll be in touch. Enjoy the rest of your time at Naidex.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Thanks.
So we are still here at Naidex and we found ourselves a new guest. Would you like to introduce yourself, please?
Hello there, thank you very much. My name is Hazel Dawkins, and one of the reasons I'm here at Naidex today is I am representing as a disability officer and also as a disabled person myself.
So, you've already answered why you're here at Naidex, so thank you very much.
No worries.
What have you enjoyed about being here today?
Yes, I've come for the last many years now, and what's been great is the many stands that are here, talking to many different people and actually finding connections and making conversation with those that are like us, and just so you're not on your own.
So are you here looking for anything in particular, or are you just here to figure it all out?
I'm always up for a surprise. I think every year I've come and there's something that's really put a smile on my face. So last year there was the stand to do with like technology and assistance with hands, so I've got a hand injury, and then this year I have managed to go to one of the talks, which has been brilliant, and from that I've spoken to many people from there about my experiences at university and as a student who has a disability.
Fantastic. Is there a lot of support for students with disabilities, do you think, or is there more work to be done there?
A lot more work needs to be done, and I think that's why I've also had the conversations and come out and spoken to many people. So a lot more can be done, but I'm always hopeful and positive for the future.
Well, thank you very much for coming and speaking to us today.
Thank you.
And enjoy the rest of your time at Naidex.
Thank you. Love to have met you.
So, we are still at Naidex with the People First podcast, and we have one of our very own presenters. Could you introduce yourself, please?
Good afternoon. My name's Luke Demain. I'm 28 years old, and I just arrived here with someone from Bradford an hour ago, and it's really busy, but it's very nice and relaxed. And we've interviewed lots of different people. We've had a Paralympian called Emily Simmons.
What do you do usually with People First, Luke?
I meet with everyone at Keighley on a Wednesday, 10 till 3. We're based at Central Hall in Keighley, and it's a very safe, very laid-back office. We work hard though, which is the main important key of a business.
And you're part of our podcast team.
I am, and I absolutely love it.
What have you thought about Naidex so far?
Oh, well, I had a long journey here this morning, but since arriving, it's not too noisy. I've looked round a few of the stalls, got some information leaflets. I saw a stall for hidden disabilities, and I saw a stall for B&Bs, Airbnbs, and that means specially adapted B&Bs for people who are blind and just want to stay somewhere or just want to rent their place out to someone who's if they're going away. It's a lot to take in, but I really enjoyed it.
Brilliant. Well, actually, a little bit earlier, Luke, we spoke to a gentleman who had a company called Welcome Me, and it was an app where you can sign in and ping a venue before you arrive to tell them that you're arriving and what support you might need.
Oh, wow!
So you could let a venue know, I'm arriving, and half an hour before you arrive, they'll get a notification saying we've got someone, they're registered blind, and the support they might need is being met at the entrance and walked to somewhere. So I thought that was really interesting from what I've learned.
I went to an app thing, and there's an app store, and it's for, and and it's disabled. And there's also a store called Disabled Unity, which helps people with find access to work, and it's all really good stuff. I'm very glad that I've been able to come down today, and it's been nice to see people I know, people who I don't know. It's nice. I heard it was noisy earlier, but that's quieting down.
Brilliant. Well, Luke, I tell you what, we'll let you go and enjoy the rest of the conference. Thank you very much for speaking to us today, and we'll see you again soon.
So, thanks for having me. It's been great to do a live podcast. What's your name?
My name's Paul.
Paul. Welcome, Paul.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
And do you run any company in particular?
No, I'm here as a disabled person to buy stuff, maybe get a new chair, that sort of thing.
What have you enjoyed about the first day of the conference so far?
It's just nice to see a lot of variety of things. I've been looking around for a couple of wheelchairs, had a go in them. That's nice to do, have a whiz round in one of these powered things. I've enjoyed that.
Well, I came down with someone this morning, and we only got here at about 1:05, so, and for a start off, it's very ordered, very clean and tidy, not too noisy, and I've had a good time this afternoon up to now.
I would say it was very busy when we first got here, but it seems to be a little more relaxed now.
Thank you for speaking to us.
That's all right. Well, it's nice to meet you, Luke.
Enjoy the rest of the conference.
I will do.
So we are still here at Naidex, and we have a new guest here. Would you like to introduce yourself, please?
Yes, hello everyone. I'm Samantha Renk. I'm a broadcaster and disability rights consultant. I do a little bit of everything really. A lot of people will recognise me from the Maltesers advert. I just have a new memoir that came out last summer, You Are the Best Thing Since Sliced Bread. I am a cis female. I am a full-time wheelchair user. I have got long wavy hair today. Blonde hair. I've got a beautiful, quite a bohemian peach dress on, and I am a petite statured woman.
Looking very stylish.
Thank you.
More than us, we're in our uniform today.
I thought I'd make an effort.
So what have you been doing at Naidex today?
Gosh, so I've only just arrived. So I travelled in from central London. We kind of took a really leisurely, drive up here. I always want to say down, but it's never down, is it? No, up here. So that was really nice. I've had quite a busy week, so I'm about to go on to the main stage to do a little presentation, and I've called the presentation Unburden Yourself, Path to Success. So really, kind of a lived experience approach, and just to share a little bit more about, who I am, my own, battles with internalized ableism, and how really connecting with my own identity and dispelling and unburdening myself from, all my ableism, my internalized ableism has really been, paramount into ensuring that I feel comfortable in my own skin, and also, able to, push my career in a really positive upward trajectory. So I kind of just want to share with the audience a little bit more about me, and hopefully have a really, kind of meaningful Q&A at the end.
So what have you enjoyed about being at Naidex so far?
Well, like I said, I've literally only just arrived. However, it has to be the people. I've been stopped already by a whole host of wonderful people wanting to say hello, have a quick selfie, and have a quick chit chat. So I think it's the people that, make up an exhibition like this. It's that sense of community, and I do use the term disability community, and I know that is not necessarily something that, everyone would use or feel comfortable with, but I think, when we're talking about community is is a group of individuals, not all the same, we're not a monolith, but a group of individuals that are put together by external factors. Societies were made up for order and, kind of keep everyone in line. And I guess, disabled people, although we're not all the same, we have all been thrust together by, a disabling world. And, we may not all like one another, we may not all love one another, we may not all, have commonalities. But what I think we do have is that real sense of I've got your back, and I'll be there if you, need the support in any way. I can give that to you, and that's why I really do nurture and value the sense of community. And I guess an event like this just is an extension of that community. I think the build up to an event like Naidex is, half of the fun. Everybody kind of posting on social media that they're, making their way up or down wherever you're coming from, and, kind of wanting to know whether they can come and say hello, and wanting to, have a chit chat. So I think exactly that's why the fun and the heart of something like this.
Well, thank you very much for coming and speaking to us. We'll let you get off to your speech, yeah?
Oh, thank you. I better go and get myself ready now. Yes, exactly. I really need to go and find a cup of tea. As a northern girl, I've only had one cup of tea today, and that is not good enough. Really not. Anyway, thank you so much for having me on. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Enjoy the rest of Naidex.
Take care, everyone. Bye-bye. Bye.
So we are still at Naidex, and we are speaking to a new guest. Would you like to introduce yourself, please?
Hi there, my name's Amo Raju. I am the CEO of a Derby-based organisation which is national called Disability Direct.
And what are you doing today at Naidex?
Here we are again, and it is my great pleasure to launch our new product, a card for people who work in social care, whether you're paid or unpaid, called the Blue Light Social Care Card, which is run by our team, Blue Sky Brokers. It's receiving phenomenal amount of interest, so really pleased that there's just so many people who want to sign up to it. Social care staff have been under-recognised for many years. So this is our organisation's attempt to try and ensure that they get recognised, they get that virtual round of applause that they deserve, and thanks for being who they are and doing what they do. And this card not only is an ID card, but it gives them discounts on the high street and online for shopping as well. So I won't mention the brands that you could get discounts for, but there's so many well-known brands where they can apply their card and basically receive a discount.
Fantastic. And if there are organisations out there who might be interested, how do they get in contact with you to move forward and perhaps get some cards of their own?
Yeah, so it's the easiest thing to do is go online, and I should know their website address off by heart, but I don't, so I'm going to get the card out and read it out. And if you look on www.blueskycard.uk, and you'll see all the information on there. You can apply for a card for yourself, or if you are a business and you want to offer a discount to social care staff, you can also enter your company details there and register the amount of discount that you want to offer as well to such a wonderful workforce.
Brilliant. Well, thank you very much for talking to us, and really hope you enjoy the rest of your time at Naidex.
My pleasure, thanks.
Thank you. So we're still here at Naidex at the moment, and we have a new guest on the show. Would you like to introduce yourself, please?
Hello everyone, I'm Ellie Simmons, a 5-time Paralympic swimmer. I retired from the sport back in Tokyo in 2021, but now doing other things in TV and media and broadcasting and sport.
Fantastic. And why are you here at Naidex today?
So I was actually very, very lucky and very asked to be a speaker in the main stage. So I had a conversation this morning, a Q&A type style, like a Jonathan Ross type thing. So chatting more about my career, my experience in Paralympic sport from Beijing 2008 to when I retired back in Tokyo in 2021, and now my life since being part of Strictly Come Dancing and dancing on that, and just Paralympic sport, disability sport, and what it's like living with dwarfism.
Brilliant. And what have you enjoyed most about being around at Naidex today?
It's been fab. This is my first time coming here and attending, and just being around people with all different disabilities and that community feel, and especially seeing all the different areas and stands and meeting people and just learning things, and just being here. And it's an amazing event for everyone who has a disability or who's part of it, or who's got a business that helps people with different disabilities. So just great to be here.
Do you have anything you'd like to promote before you go?
No, but just thank you ever so much.
Thanks for talking to us, and enjoy the rest of your time at Naidex.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you.
So we are still here at Naidex, and we have another guest. Would you like to introduce yourself, please?
Yes, hello everybody. My name is Jane Webb. I work for a charity called Vehicles for Change.
And what have you been doing so far today at Naidex?
My job role is Development Officer, so I've come along to raise awareness of the charity that I work for, and we've had some exciting things happening lately, so I want to share some news as well with everybody.
Could you tell us a bit more about your organisation and maybe some of your news then, please?
Vehicles for Change is a fairly new charity. It's actually celebrated its 5th birthday in the last week.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. We had a rough time over our first few years, because what we do is we provide fully accessible, portable toileting facilities. There's over 500,000 people in the UK who can't leave their homes really, because they're not able to use standard disabled toilets. So we as an organisation have taken portable facilities, showers, beds for changing, everything that somebody might need, along to various events. As you can imagine, with COVID, 3 to 5 years ago, all the events stopped everywhere around the country, and we really had a rough few years, but we managed to pull through, and we're celebrating our 5th birthday. And now we are rebranding. We were Vehicles for Change operating the Mobiloo service. That's how a lot of people would know us. But we are now Vehicles for Change trading as Revolution. And we've actually got one of our vehicles here at Naidex for the next 2 days, so that everyone that might need that particular type of facility is able to come along and use it. It's about dignity and having what you need to actually be able to be independent and go to places that you want to.
Absolutely. I think it allows people that advocacy to do what they want to do when they have the ability to access the needs that they need met.
That's right. The vehicles always have an attendant there. They're fully functioning, and we've really been picking up the business over the last year or so as events have come back onto the radar. And we're really, really proud of the difference that we can make. I mean, it's a small difference when you realise how many people there are who need this facility, but we're all very proud in our charity of being able to offer the service that we do.
Fantastic. Well, do enjoy the rest of your time at Naidex.
Thank you.
And thank you very much for speaking to us.
Well, it was lovely to speak to you. Thank you.
So we're still here at Naidex, and we have a new interviewee. Would you like to introduce yourself, please?
Yes, hello, my name is Simran Bamra and I'm new at Naidex today.
Yeah, so what are you doing at Naidex today?
checking it out actually, because I'd never heard of Naidex until last year, and unfortunately I couldn't make it last year due to COVID. So this year I jumped at the chance and I just had to see what was available for myself and my peers.
And what have you enjoyed about being at Naidex so far?
I actually think, aside from the seminars and keynote speeches and everything, the number of exhibitions that are taking place today, like there are companies I've never even heard of. I mean, I don't use a mobility scooter, but I didn't actually realise how many companies there were that specialise in that. So it's just kind of getting an eye for what's out there, because if it doesn't help me personally, I'd love to pass on the word to somebody else who can benefit from that.
Absolutely. You were just talking to us before a little about your journey or experience as a disabled person in the workplace. Would you like to expand on that for us?
Yeah, sure. So I've been working for 20 years and, various biases and discriminations have taken place. I'm a person of colour, so I've kind of experienced those kind of issues. However, over the last 3 years, I've become disabled. I have an invisible illness, which is also a disability, and over the last year or so, I've been struggling in my workplace. I did get made redundant in December, and I know the reason wasn't what they told me, and it was disability discrimination, because these problems or these issues, they are not allowed, because obviously you can take an employer to court, but I know the way I was being treated and certain conversations that were happening, I just had a feeling, when you're going through something, your intuition is quite strong, your gut speaks to you.
So do you feel like you had enough support throughout this process?
In hindsight, no, but I think because everything happened so quickly, I didn't really reach out for support, but also I think because I was so burnt out, I was quite happy that I was being made redundant. I know it sounds a little bit morbid and to laugh about it, but I think when you're no longer happy in the environment you're working in, you do kind of you're almost seeking that closure. So for me, it was like, I'm not passionate about this industry anymore, and I just need to kind of find something else, and something where I can advocate for disabilities. That's my absolute passion. That or mental health, those are my passions. So that's where I'm kind of looking to go next.
Fantastic. Well, we wish you the best of luck and enjoy the rest of your time here at Naidex.
Thank you so much, and you too. Have a great day. Thank you.
Thank you. So we're still here at Naidex today, and I've got a new interviewee. Would you like to introduce yourself, please?
Yeah, my name is Gavin Neat, and I have a company called Welcome, or as a lot of people call it, Welcome Me.
And what are you doing today at Naidex?
Generally, smiling, because having spent all these years in lockdown and not seeing people face to face, and even not seeing people face to face because we're all over the country, I'm walking around and seeing my friends, and I say that with a big capital F, because these are people I've known for 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 10 years, and it's just an amazing opportunity to just go up and smile.
Brilliant. Could you tell us a little bit more about your organisation?
Yeah. So basically, I used to be a guide dog mobility instructor. I used to train people how to use guide dogs with Guide Dogs UK, and I did it for 18 years. And then one day I was with one of my clients, and I was walking into a shop, and I realised that the staff member didn't know how to interact with my client. So I thought, well, what if I was to be here half an hour before and speak to the person and say, look, later on today, somebody with a visual impairment is going to come in. I want you to introduce yourself. I want you to ensure that if you're giving sighted guide, you don't take their arm, you offer your arm. You don't say things like it's over there. You make sure you walk at their pace and not your pace. You make sure that when you leave them, you say goodbye, you say you're going. And you address them directly if you're in a group, if you want them to respond. And I would say that to staff members, and I would be like, why don't they know this? And of course, the truth is they were trained it at some point, if they'd had training. Or sometimes they hadn't had training. But even if they had had training, they weren't able to recall it in the moment. So at the same time as this was 2006, I guess, that was kind of happening, 2003 and 2006. At the same time, I had people turning up to train with guide dogs, and they would take their mobile phone out. And I just thought, oh, that's cool. What if I was able to connect directly to the customer service team before I walked through the door as a disabled person? And that became Welcome, the world's first proximity-based staff training tool and awareness for disability. But beyond that, it's actually an empowerment tool for the disabled person who dictates the level of service they get. So it could be anything from ignore me, I'm going to turn up and I want you to totally ignore me, or I really need help with my bags coming into wherever I'm going, a fitness centre or whatever it might be, or train station or an airport. And we launched it in 2018, and we now have over 170 venues across the country where people can use Welcome to get better customer service, which it couldn't be more timely because people need it.
Fantastic. Yeah, so it sounds like you can kind of customize the level of support that you need.
Yeah, exactly. And you can inform them if you want, if you have specific needs that are relevant to a particular disability. So you could say undisclosed condition, or you could say I have a hearing impairment. And if you say you have a hearing impairment, that triggers information for them that's going to be useful. So if going back to what I was talking about at the start, which was, wouldn't it be good if you just knew to say, hello, my name is, to a blind person? Well, for a hearing impaired person, you would approach from the front. You would catch their eye so that they're looking at you and they know they're speaking directly to you. You would make sure that you didn't have a light source behind you. But you get this information half an hour before the person walks through the door, which totally changes how customer service is delivered. And everybody wins. Disabled person goes, I feel more comfortable going somewhere I might never have been. The staff member thinks, I love giving service to disabled people because I now know what to do. The business goes, oh, this is awesome because I've got more people coming in and coming back again. And it just starts a whole world of change around, and with the disabled person being at the forefront.
Fantastic. Well, if there's anything else you'd like to add?
Yeah, it's free. If you go to my.well-co.me, that's my.well-co.me, you can set up a profile, look at the venues, and then start pick and choose where you want to go. And as I say, it's totally free.
Otherwise, we'll say goodbye and enjoy the rest of your time at Naidex.
Oh, it's brilliant, and you're just as smiley as everybody else. I love it.
See ya. So we're still here at Naidex, and we have a new interviewee. Could you introduce yourself, please?
Good morning, my name is John Gillett.
And what are you doing today at Naidex?
I'm doing networking.
Brilliant. And you were telling us a little bit about what you do earlier when you visited our stand. Could you tell that to our listeners, please?
Yeah, sure. I'm a disability consultant, access auditor and trainer. So I do things like train people on using the correct wording and approach to people with disabilities. But I also do access audits on properties for corporates and the NHS, etc., to make sure that those properties meet the needs of people with disabilities, whatever that might be, whether it's a sight impairment, hearing impairment, Asperger's, dementia, so that their experience of using the services is one of comfort and not one of feeling out of place.
Brilliant. And what have you enjoyed so far visiting Naidex?
What I'm enjoying is meeting the different diversity of people with systems like yourself that are making an effort to approach and help people with disabilities have a better lifestyle.
Thank you very much. Thanks for joining us, and enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you as well. Bye-bye.
So I'm here at Naidex with a new interviewee. Could you introduce yourself, please?
Yeah, I'm Christine, and I'm Spoon, and I'm from Birmingham.
Why are you here at Naidex today?
Because I want to find ways I can be more independent for myself, so I can be able to do more things for myself.
And what have you enjoyed about being at Naidex so far?
I've only been a short while, but the information's been good, and I've found about a good few things that could help.
Brilliant. And you were just telling us there that you're a chairperson. Could you give us a bit more info about that?
Yeah, I'm chair of People for Self-Advocacy, LTD, which is based at 336 Brixton Road, so I'm based up there.
Brilliant. Is there anything else you'd like to add to our listeners?
No, it's just I've always been said that people first is always, I've always said self-advocacy is one of the most key things, and coming to it actually encourages that self-advocacy, because you can speak to them and I don't speak to the carer, they just speak to you.
Absolutely. I think we agree. Well, thank you very much for talking to us. Enjoy the rest of your time at Naidex.
That's all right. Will do.
Thank you. So, I'm here at Naidex, and I'm here with an interviewee. Could you introduce yourself, please?
My name is Arwa bin Siddiq. I am a PhD student in University of Nottingham.
And what are you doing today here at Naidex?
So actually I published the QR code to collect data from any person who have any disabilities to improve their cyber security.
Fantastic. So is that accessible for anyone with a disability to be able to take part in that?
Yes.
And how do we find the QR code? Are you here at Naidex today and tomorrow?
Yeah, we print flyers and we have some freebies to encourage people to fill it. Actually, the survey need to take a few minutes, to fill it.
Fantastic. And can you access that online as well? Is there a website you can go to?
Yes, it is actually a SurveyMonkey website. Yeah.
Fantastic. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
No, thank you very much. We are happy to publish this survey to anyone who have any disabilities.
Fantastic. Thank you for talking to us.
Okay, thank you.
So, hello. I've got someone here at Naidex. Could you please introduce yourself?
Hi, my name's Dan Kirkland. I'm here with another organisation called Even Break. I'm a non-executive for that organisation, and we've got a stand right next to you.
Fantastic. And what are you doing at Naidex today?
Well, so Even Break is it's a job board and a learning hub for disabled people. So it allows disabled people to search for jobs and build their careers with companies that have a focus on inclusivity. So the job board is full of jobs that are from organisations that have a strong disability and inclusion policy. They want to actively advertise and encourage disabled people to join their organisation. And the Even Break itself also has this learning hub, which has all kinds of learning material that helps people build their career, build a good CV, learn interview skills, help them get a job, and give them a bit of mentoring and focus.
If someone was interested, one of our listeners, how would they be able to get in contact with you to sign up or get some more info?
They just need to go to evenbreak.co.uk, and everything's there. There's a link to the Hive, which is the learning hub. There you can register as a job seeker and search for all of the jobs. You don't have to register to search for jobs, just simply go to that website.
And you were just talking to me there about some social events. Could you maybe give us a bit more information about that?
Yeah, so I'm also involved in a social enterprise in Sheffield, which is focused around disadvantaged and disabled children primarily, but adults as well. But it's focused around snooker, but I think that's kind of a bit of a ruse. It's not just about snooker, it's about providing a social opportunity for people who are otherwise potentially socially excluded from schools and clubs and mainstream environments. Sometimes they haven't got the confidence, or unfortunately they might be being bullied or feel uncomfortable in these environments because they're not used to it. They're not comfortable with interacting, and this gives them a safe environment where like-minded people and people who have experienced similar things can go there safely, socialise with each other, play computer games, play snooker, play a bit of pool. They learn while they're there. It really isn't about snooker. It's about providing those opportunities.
Fantastic.
There's often tournaments that are open to anyone in the country and the world, in fact. And we have people come from Scotland or London and Wales and even Ireland sometimes come into these tournaments. So if you were to go to snookerskills.com or look for Steve Harrison Academy, based in Sheffield, everyone's more than welcome to come along. It isn't just about disability, it's for people who just don't get the opportunity, whether you're a child or an adult.
Fantastic. Well, thank you very much for coming and speaking to us. Have a really nice rest of your day.
Thank you. Cheers.
Remember to like, share and follow the show on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter. You can find us by searching for the People First podcast. Thanks for listening.